Hello and welcome to Wedding Wednesdays with Weddings Online. My name is Kelly and I'm a former wedding planner and blogger, and I'm obsessed with weddings. If you're planning a wedding in Ireland, you're in the right place. You're going to learn the tried and tested methods to planning your dream wedding without the added stress. Think of this as your one-stop shop for everything to do with planning your wedding in Ireland, with me, your new wedding planning bestie, and a cup of tea. This is Wedding Wednesdays with Weddings Online. Happy Wednesday! It is Wedding Wednesday time, and we are at the final stage of a month's worth of content all about getting ready to pop the question. So to refresh your memories, we had part 1, which is all about engagement rings and knowing the difference between carat with a C and carat with a K. We spoke about planning your proposal in week 2. So that was all the details that you need to think about to make a really memorable proposal. Then last week, which is week 3, we spoke about what to say when you propose, apart from the obvious question at the end. And so if you've missed any of those posts and you are planning on getting engaged, you're planning on popping the question, I highly recommend listening to parts 1, 2, and 3, because they will walk you through all the details that you need to think about when you're getting ready to pop the question. But assuming that you have now popped the question, it's time to announce the news. And that's what we're talking about in today's episode. So I always recommend that when you are announcing any kind of news, you think about who needs to know when. So this is what my husband and I did when we got engaged. So on the actual day that we got engaged, we had a period of time. I can't tell you how long it was, but it was probably maybe half an hour, might have even been up to an hour. It was somewhere in that kind of time frame where we had just gotten engaged. We were on this really beautiful private beach, and we kind of sat down and we were just enjoying being engaged. And at that point, it was just us in our kind of little bubble. Then we announced the news to our inner circle. So if you had to envision an onion, the deepest layer, the core of the onion, that's you and your other half enjoying the news, just the two of you. And then if you branch out to the next layer, that's your inner circle. So think of people like your parents, your siblings, your closest friends, your besties, the type of people who, you would phone to give happy news or sad news or whatever. Those are the people that you want to talk to next. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be half an hour after it's happened. You could decide that for a day or a weekend, you just want to be in that inner circle, the bubble, where it's just you and your other half and only you guys know, and you get to enjoy the moment together. But when you feel ready, the next layer is that inner circle, and you want to make sure that you tell your inner circle before you start sharing the news more widely. And the way that you tell your inner circle is really up to you. You could send them a text message, you could post in one of your group chats if you have one. You could phone people, whatever you find to be most appropriate. That is determined by the type of messages you normally send, the way you normally communicate with them. But the key here is to tell your inner circle first, then to move to the next layer of that onion that we mentioned, and you want to start sharing the news a little bit more widely. So this layer of the onion that we're talking about now is anybody who's not as close as your inner circle, but anybody who is close enough that they should hear the news from you before they see it publicly on social media. So this could be, some other friends of yours who are not necessarily your besties, but they're still close friends of yours. It could be a work colleague who you feel you want to tell face to face or via message or phone call. You will know who those people are, and it's completely up to you how you tell them and when you tell them. But what you want to do is you want to make sure that first your inner circle will find out, then the next layer of friends or work colleagues, your boss, whoever that you want to share the news with. And then the final step is your public announcement. And this is kind of a catch-all. This is where you can share the news with anybody and everybody. It's your followers on social media, the people that you wouldn't necessarily phone, but you want them to know because it's big news. It's anyone that you might have forgotten that needs to know the news. They will see it on social media, and this is when everybody will know. And so what we're going to do is for the rest of this episode, I'm going to share some really cute ways that you can share the news in this layer of the onion. So this public layer, the social media announcement, we're going to talk about some fun, creative ways that you can share this news to really enjoy the moment, make it super special for you. So I'm going to share a few tips. And the first one is, if possible, include your ring in the announcement. So there are lots of ways that you can do it. You can be super creative. It could be a close-up of the ring. It could be the type of thing where you're holding something like a mug that says, does this ring make me look engaged? Or you're holding a glass of Prosecco and you're cheersing, or something like that, where it's like the ring isn't necessarily the focus of the picture, but it's in the picture and people will definitely see it and understand what's going on in this announcement. The next tip is share any other kind of photos that you can, whether those are selfies that you and your other half took as soon as you guys got engaged. That's what my husband and I did. Or we did mention when we spoke about planning the proposal, one of the things we suggested is, if you are the kind of couple that loves to have really good photos, maybe having a photographer there to capture the moment would be something you'd want to do. And what you could do is, when you make a public announcement, you could have some of those photos that the professional took. You could share those when you make the announcement. Now, if you have pets, it's always cute to find a way to incorporate the pets into the wedding all the way from the beginning, which is when you make the announcement. Something like, your pet's having a cute little sign saying, "My parents are getting married," or "future ring bearer," something like that. And the same goes for children. If you have children together, you could do something cute like that as well, like have them as part of the announcement, because it's always cute when you can include your pets or your children in that. And there are a couple of cute ways that you can share the news. You could use a sign, something like, your hand with the ring, and then behind it is a sign, something like "forever" has a nice ring to it. Do you see what I did there? You could show photos of you guys jumping for joy. I've seen some really cute ones where the foreground of the picture is the hand with the ring on it, and then in the background, like miles behind the hand, is the person who popped the question jumping for joy in the background. It's always a fun contrast, and it's just a cute way to show the excitement. Another thing you could do is you could write "I said yes" on your hand, and you can take a picture of that. Now, coffee lovers, the next idea is for you. You can say it with coffee. What about holding your Starbucks coffee cup and you can write on there something like "bride to be" or "fiance" or "I said yes," or something cute like that, like on your coffee cups. I think that's really, really cute. And then another thing is just a simple selfie, just the two of you guys smiling, happy. Whether the ring is included or not, that's completely up to you, but something really sweet and just really lovely, you guys smiling and looking super happy. But now you might be wondering, what kind of caption should you share along with these cute pictures and these fun ideas? Like, what can you say in the writing part? And I've got loads of ideas for you, and I'm going to break them down into 3 categories. First category is I'm going to borrow some quotes from books, TV shows, and movies. I'm going to give you a couple. So I am a huge fan of Friends, and so this is something that I could have done. Something like "the one where we got engaged." So if you're a fan of Friends, you'll understand the format of the titles of each episode is "the one with" or "the one where." Now, if you love Grey's Anatomy, another one that I love, you could do something like "you're my person." Twilight fans, what about something like "let's start with forever"? And then the classic Wuthering Heights quote is "whatever our souls are made out of, his and mine are the same." So those are 4 ideas from books, TV, and movies. Really cute ways that you can announce your news. Of course, if you're not a fan of any of the shows and books that I suggested, that's totally fine. Have a look at some of the shows that you guys really love. There might be something that you've really bonded over. Find a quote from there that fits with your news. And of course, you want to pair the quote with a photo that makes sense with it. So if you're saying "the one where we got engaged" and it's a photo, like I said, of, close up of the hand and then somebody jumping for joy, it all fits together and it says what you're trying to say. Now, another category for captions is song lyrics. So if you guys are really big into music, like huge music fans, or if you guys are both a fan of a particular artist or band, then you can borrow a quote from them to share the news. So I've got 3 ideas for you. So one is Ed Sheeran. He's got loads of really amazing songs that are super romantic, but this one I think is probably, it's got one of the best lines in it that you could use for an engagement announcement. And the line is, "Because we were just kids when we fell in love." And that's particularly cute and perfect if you and your other half met when you were young and you're maybe high school sweethearts or something. Another one is Bruno Mars, the song Marry You. You could say, "Hey baby, I think I want to marry you." Obviously you could add a winking face or something because you definitely want to marry that person. And then the final one in the song categories is from the Lumineers. You could say, "I belong with me." Sorry, I butchered that. Let me try that again. "I belong with you. You belong with me. You're my sweetheart." Now, our final category. So we've done books, TV, and movies. We've done songs. And the final one is just something cute and funny. So for your Instagram caption, for your engagement announcement, how about something like, "Easiest yes I've ever said," or this one might be super appropriate for you, "It's about time." What about the beginning of forever? Another cute one is "Just like Beyonce, but with an F." Get it? Beyonce, fiance. And the final one, super simple but very effective, "I said yes," with all the appropriate emojis, big smiley faces, starry eyes, all the rest of it. Now that's how you announce your engagement. Don't forget, first tell your inner circle, then tell people who you feel should hear it from you, and then get to the public announcement. And I've just shared loads of cute ideas of ways that you can capture good pictures and pair them with amazing captions to go with your announcement. And now next week, we're going to go into all the things to do when you start planning your wedding. So assuming that you're now engaged, you're about to announce the news, who do you book first? That's what we're going to cover in the next 4 episodes, so don't miss out. Well, thank you for listening today. The Wedding Wednesdays with Weddings Online podcast is produced by me, Kelly, and mixed, mastered, and edited by Glenn Hartman. For more wedding planning tips, advice, checklists, and more, visit weddingsonline.ie.